Rusty Diamond Motherfucker.
Yo, man. Well, Miss Rusty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. This is episode 596, maybe 595. Today, I have a guest that I found on TikTok. I don't think I've had a guest I found on TikTok before. I did have her. I had her on. We talked about the Talented and Gifted program and MK Ultra. But today I found someone that was playing the country blues and I was mesmerized. So I'm going to bring on my special guest right here and right now. And my special guest right here right now is Joe Bourgeois. Was your first video of you on TikTok of you dancing around and shaking your butt, or was what was going on? What?
No, nobody wants to see me shake my butt, Rusty. Nobody wants to see that. I just started. I had a job, a night job, as a security guard at a trucking company. Through I forget what it was, Axiom or what are some of those places that just sort of you sign up and they send you out different jobs.
Securitas. I worked for Securitas.
Yeah, it was like one of those I don't know. Anyway, one of those workforce type jobs. So anyway,
sure.
I go, and my whole job was to go sit in my old truck. I didn't have a uniform. I just sat out there and I had a clipboard and I wrote down what happened in the parking lot. Literally, that was it. Car drives in, car leaves. Truck drives in. I didn't even have to check in trucks. I just sat there and wrote everything down. So it was the easiest gig I've ever had. Also, it was the most boring gig I've ever had. And so what I started doing was recording myself playing music in my truck. And then a friend of mine said, "You got to get into this platform, TikTok." And I was like, "Why?" I mean, I've never even heard of it. And this was a few years ago. He said, "Oh man, you'll get on there and you'll just spend hours and it'll keep you awake and all kinds of stuff." So I opened it up, I opened an account and I said, "You know what? I'm just going to start posting here as well." And for the longest time, just nothing happened. I'd post and it would just go out into the void. And then suddenly I started building some kind of a following. I still don't have a huge following, but I started putting things out and people seemed to appreciate it. And it was the kind of music that I like. So I just kept doing it.
And so, yeah, I mean, I had a job too where when I was doing security and I was watching a sound stage for a show that was being filmed, and I just sat outside of it all day guarding the door, and I could just sit there and read a book for 8 hours straight. And it was, it's like that, but like that's not as like you're getting paid to play guitar and you make videos. And so, I mean, that's kind of the dream right there for that time of your life. And so, so then what was kind of the first part where it was someone reached out to you? How'd that work out? Was that something that was going on before TikTok too?
What do you like, how do you mean?
So, okay, so you were doing music before TikTok for a long time because you're not someone who just picked up his guitar a few days ago. So like, have your gigs changed since you were doing TikTok for going out and playing live? Have you been doing like different stuff? Because I saw Joe on TikTok and it's cool as shit that they can happen like that. And so then you have other people that are seeing you from TikTok, and what was kind of that reaction from you and from them? And
well, I guess the first thing that ever happened was actually from Facebook, because I posted to TikTok, Facebook, X. It used to be Twitter. Now it's X,
Okay.
Instagram, and YouTube. And those all seem to be disconnected, and they all grow at their own pace, you know. But the
Right.
first thing that ever happened was I got a phone call from a guy who is now one of my best friends. His name's Adam Montavani, and he is
Okay.
from Center Valley, Pennsylvania. And every year he has a Montavani Farm Fest. But he had seen one of my videos on Facebook, and he said, "Hey, I want you to come and play the blues at Montavani Farm Fest." And I thought, wow. And it was a festival too.
Whoa.
So I was very excited about it. And he seemed kind of excited about it. And I went up there and I played, and they put me up in a hotel, and it was sort of like a nice dream come true. Sorry, my dog has decided it's time to start acting simple. But
Always.
that, and I've had those kind of things happen from time to time, you know. Like I ended up playing a festival out in New Mexico based
Whoa.
on the Facebook stuff.
And so where are you located?
I'm in West Virginia in the Eastern Panhandle.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
I'm actually I think I'm about 10 or 11 miles north of Winchester, Pennsylvania, or Winchester, Virginia, excuse me, right along
Okay.
I-81. So I'm in a little town
Wow.
called Ridgeway.
Wow.
So anyway, but yeah,
going all the way up to New Mexico.
that was fun. I went out there, and they treated me like some kind of star for a week. And I
You were
thought,
there for a
wow.
week.
I was there for a week because the festival was long and I played every night.
Whoa. And so you were in New Mexico
Yes.
for a week, getting to play every night. And so
Yep.
it was an outdoor festival
Oh
somewhere
no,
out there.
it was in a theater in Albuquerque.
Oh,
It
okay,
was it
even
was it's
cooler.
Yeah, it was called the Lobo Theater. It's an older theater in town.
Whoa. And I assume there's probably been a lot of people who have played there too. Did you go through the history of all of it? And
There's been a lot of people that played there. They've had a lot of plays, a lot of concerts. It was really neat. In fact, there was a guy, what was his name? Oh shoot. And he's kind of on the up and coming. Cody something. I don't remember his name now. But he's
okay,
on
but
TikTok as well. But he was just about to go over to London to record.
whoa.
He was really good. I enjoyed seeing him. He was so loud though. I had to take breaks with
So
him.
then you got to
Cody
go and
Jasper, that's his name. Cody Jasper.
okay. Is he from Wyoming?
No, he
Or
actually I think is from New Mexico or Arizona. One of
okay,
those
because
places.
those are both towns in Wyoming. That's why I said that. But yeah, the so how'd you like it out there? How'd you like the New Mexico and everything?
I would love to live out there someday. It was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Of course, I was there in the fall, so it wasn't,
Yeah,
blistering hot, but I've been out there in the middle of the summer as well, and it's just, but it's gorgeous out there.
cool. And yeah, so then when was that? You went there this last year out
Two
there?
years ago, 2 years
Two-
ago, right now. Yep.
Okay. So you've been doing TikTok for you used to know this, so that was from Facebook, right?
That one
That
came
you
in
got the
from
booking.
Facebook. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then yeah, and then you got on TikTok and
Oh yeah.
started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean the TikTok is just it's wild. And yeah, I like that there is this and um, watching things happen because of TikTok, because of whatever it is. But uh, so then were you? I don't know, like what? Were you like playing gigs by yourself, or were you in part of a musical collective of sorts or anything? Or
Oh gosh, I've done all kinds of things over the years. I mean, my first gig was in 1990, I think,
oh,
and
okay,
it was right out of high school, and that was with a guy that played the acoustic guitar and sang in a little bar in North Little Rock, Arkansas called Alley Oops. And I
whoa,
would go every weekend and play with him for the longest time, and he'd give me 25 or 30 bucks, and I thought I was a pro, man.
uh, that's still a pretty all right. Payday
Yeah,
right there for
for somebody that's
2024.
for somebody who's 18,
Yeah,
fantastic. Sorry
yeah,
about that. There
that's all
must be
good.
somebody out there. But I've done all kinds of things, and I moved to West Virginia in '92, and
Okay.
immediately ended up in a bunch of little country bands. You know, out here
Yeah.
it was in the '90s when country was having its big heyday. You know, and so I was in all these
Yeah.
little country bands and all that stuff.
And then so I mean, were you still so were you doing more recording or playing live
More playing
during that time?
live, really. More
Oh,
playing live.
okay.
I was really
What's
into blues then. And let me just go back a little bit so you can understand kind of
please?
what was happening. So when I was a kid and I started playing the guitar, my grandfather had this old 78. Now, granddaddy was born in 1905 in Mississippi. And when he got older, you would go to these little stores in these little towns. He called them company stores. I think they were owned by plantation owners. And you would
Okay.
go to a company store at that time and you could buy anything you needed. You could do it on a loan if you worked for him. They never worked for one of the guys, so they just had to buy stuff. And they would have records and things there too, just anything you might want. And
Oh,
it was a
okay.
Robert Johnson 78 that he ended up buying. And
Oh,
that was the first thing I heard of country blues was that 78 on his record player. And it was just scratchy. I remember listening, but I remember saying, man, granddaddy, this is what I want to play. And this was in the 80s. We didn't have any way to learn it other than to sit down with a record. And he said, well, you need to go see this guy who used to work for me. His name's Mr. Patton. So I went to see Mr. Patton, and he, for a long time, he taught me how to make my own slides with bottles, cutting off
uh,
the bottlenecks. He taught me about open tunings and all that stuff in his own way. And he tried to teach me as best he could about how to play slide guitar, in his own way. And so
yeah.
I kind of got a jump start on it. And
That's oh, go ahead.
no, that's all. And then from then, I of course was already playing. um, excuse me, I was already playing just regular, like I was trying to play Jimi Hendrix stuff and Eddie Van Halen stuff and all this other. I was just really just absolutely enthralled with this country blues that was for me completely new and like nothing I'd ever heard. And of course I was hearing the old time music from my uncles and my granddaddy because they all played instruments. My mom played the piano and the guitar. My dad was from Massachusetts and he played the guitar and like Peter, Paul, and Mary kind of stuff. And
Oh,
so I had all this
okay.
going on, but I
Yeah.
really wanted to be a blues man. But then I wanted to be a professional musician. So when I got up to West Virginia, I took any gig I could take. And a lot of them were just these country bands and classic rock bands and stuff like that. And played through the '90s doing that stuff.
What was the weirdest place you ever played a gig?
Okay, so this place was called the Club Shamrock. And it was a little bitty dive bar. I mean, get behind the amps because we got a problem dive bar, and it was in Martinsburg, West Virginia. And just to give you an idea of the kind of place this was, about a month after I played there, which was in 1994, the bar closed because some guy's wife was cheating on him and she was in there with the guy that she was cheating on with, and he drove his pickup truck through the front. And
Okay,
they
that
just
would
decided, you know what? We're not going to rebuild. I've had enough, I guess,
yeah.
So, but I was in there and there was all these guys that were wearing these, the little flat topped hats like the Confederate soldiers wore.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
had the little flat top that came kind of up like this and went down in a little square bill. They're
Yeah.
wearing those kind of things. Scary place to me,
Okay. Yeah.
and we're playing with a guy. What was his name? I can't remember his name, but he had Coke bottle glasses, and he had this little guy with him that played the tambourine, and he would hire a drummer, a bass player, and a guitar player, and we would play with this guy. And so he hired me. This was the only time ever. Earl Trinary was his name. I'm sorry. He's long since passed away. He was older then. And
Okay.
anyway, long story short, the last set of the night, all of a sudden, the little guy with what was his name? Jim something with the little, tambourine. He says, "Okay, let's start playing." And we started playing that whatever that song, bump bump ba da 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 da. I forget the name of it, but they got us started on that song. Anyway, we're doing a rendition of that would be much better never heard. And from the back comes Earl Trinary dressed like Fat Elvis. He has the thing, and he's got all the sequins, and he's got his Coke bottle glasses, and he's about 5'4", and he comes out to the stage and does a huge medley of 50s and 60s hit. Not one of them was an Elvis song. Not one.
Even better.
And everybody in the place was stunned. They were absolutely stunned. They didn't know what to think of this guy. So that was the weirdest gig I have ever had, other than one that, as a musician, you play all kinds of parties.
Sure.
And this happened recently, about, a year and a half, 2 years ago. I was in a group called Huckleberry Hooch. Not to keep going on, but anyway.
No, but you're doing just great.
They said, we're going to play a yard party, right? So we get there and play this yard party, and we're all setting up and everything. And I noticed that the band's all looking at each other like with raised eyebrows, like, oh boy, this is going to be fun. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I mean, we're playing a yard party. So we set it all up, and they did a wet t-shirt contest, which I was like, this is weird. This is a yard party. And then it became a wet naked bodies contest. And then it came a wet naked female and male bodies contest.
Wow.
And I found out it was a swingers party. I'm sitting in front of one of those big, big fans, because they were blowing these fans to keep the mosquitoes and stuff away. So if you blow all that air, and I'm sitting in front of it, and I'm trying to eat this really greasy pork that they had made. And all of a sudden, there's all these naked people, and it was just like, I had to put the pork down.
I'll wait a little bit here to eat this one. I'll go eat it in the truck.
Yeah, I was kind of like, we're not going to have that. I found out partway through, all the other band members knew about it. And then all of a sudden, there's the drummer and his wife. And after the gig, I'm looking at the drummer going, oh, by the way, no eye contact for the next 6 months. Okay.
Yeah.
From either of you.
So that was the one who knew about the party? Was
all
the drummer?
Of them did. I was the one who didn't. The rest of them did.
They didn't smarten you up to that part, that you were going to be at the swingers party. Didn't you think it would be something you might want to know? What's a story of one of the bookers not paying you, or has that never happened?
Oh, no, it happened. It happened early on in my career. There used to be an outlet mall in Martinsburg, West Virginia. And one of the places said, we're hiring acts, and we don't want, we want like blues, we want folk, we want jazz, whatever. So they hired me for one of the afternoons to play blues, to play for 3 hours. And so we went in there and we played. And then at the end of it, the lady said, well, that was just too depressing. I'm not going to pay you. And I said,
for playing the blues.
It's blues. So unfortunately for her, the guy that was playing with me, his wife was an attorney there in town. And she sent a letter, and the next thing we know, there's a check. So
that's helpful.
Yeah. But that was really that. And then there was one with Huckleberry Hooch where we played at the Harley Davidson down near Washington, D.C.
Okay.
And the agent that booked the deal never paid us, and we could never get him to pay us.
Wow.
And so we went all the way down there and played, and then we made nothing for that one. And Huckleberry Hooch was one of these new country type bands. So I was extra torqued up about it because I was like, I can't believe I spent an afternoon of my life waiting traffic in DC to play new country and not get paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
The
did see
cherry
a
on
lot of
top
cool
right there.
bikes, man. Yeah, I
Are
met a
you a
lot of cool
biker?
people though, and saw a lot of cool bikes. No, I am not. I'm not.
Trucker, a
I
truck
can't.
guy.
I
No,
can't. I drive a Nissan Versa now.
oh, okay. Was the truck for
Oh,
work then?
the old truck. I've sold it since then. Actually, traded it in to get the Nissan. It was a
Okay.
'95 Chevy Silverado, and
Okay.
it had seen its use. And when I went to the dealership, the Nissan dealership in Winchester, and the guy said, "Hey, I'll give you this much money for that," I went, sold American, and I got a little Nissan Versa because I don't have a need for a truck anymore. And
Yeah.
the AC didn't work, the radio didn't work. It was just ugh. So
What'd you have the truck for before? What'd you use the
I
truck for?
so I ended up moving back down to West Virginia. I lived up near Waynesboro, Pennsylvania for a while,
Oh,
and
okay.
and ended up having a bit of a life change. And I moved down to West Virginia, and I needed a vehicle. I didn't get a vehicle when I left, so I bought this truck for I think it was $1,500, and
Nice.
I was doing a friend of mine is a realtor, and he said, you know what, you can always do clean outs, and I made a pretty good living. I did trash outs on houses that people had just walked up and left, you know, and
Sure.
I just would empty them out, take the stuff to the dump, and I used that truck to do it, and it did a good job. And I did a lot of renovations and all that kind of stuff during that time. And then I ended up driving a school bus,
Whoa.
and I did that for a while. And then I drove a
Well,
city bus, and I had all that time that I was doing the bus stuff, I was going to school for IT. And so now I'm a help desk specialist for a local college here.
okay. All right. Well, so what was the school bus driving or the city bus driving like for you? I'd assume that you'd be pretty well liked by a lot of the people on the bus.
I had a good time. I
You,
did.
you
I enjoyed the kids. I enjoyed the people on the city bus, and you could just talk and have a good time. And you can see I'm not afraid to talk. you know.
yeah, yeah, right. And that's I don't know. You seem like someone, if you were the bus driver, you'd be like, okay, this bus driver this is a good one
Yeah.
to have, and it's just gonna be a good time. And so um
And we did have a good time. My when I was being trained, my
yeah,
trainer said, because a lot of it you're dealing too when you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with discipline issues sometimes and things like that. And he said, there's two ways you can sort of control kids on the bus. One is by not really trying to control them, but by trying to make them want to do what you need them to do. He said the other is by ruling through fear. And I'm not a rule through fear guy. So I just got
right.
to know them and never really had any issues. I think I had one issue with a kid. And after it was all over, he was so sorry and apologetic. And
Whoa.
this wasn't the type of
Yeah,
kid he was, to be that way. But it was like, okay, so maybe I made a connection. So that's what I did. And I did
yeah,
the same thing on the city bus. Of course, city bus is different. You're dealing with adults, and they're just wanting to get from point A to point B. They're not there to cause a problem. So,
right. Yeah. Okay. And then yeah, you went and got into the IT field. Then you can also do you are your hours set, or are you they kind of when stuff needs to get done, or does it play work around
yeah, I
your
mean,
gig schedule?
it's all set, but because I'm work from home and work remotely, I can do festivals and things and just work from wherever I am, you
Oh, that's
know.
pretty great.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
an 8 to 5 job, and
Oh, okay.
like you can just do stuff. It's I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain it. If there's nothing going on, you can do stuff. And
Yeah, you
so
can
yeah,
do a festival. Yeah.
You just have to make sure you're available when they need you. You don't want
Right.
to be like not getting anything all day, and then 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a student needs help and you're not responding because you're watching a movie or something. That's not going to work. So,
Yeah. And
and have found things too to fill some of these days where it gets slow, and do extra things for them because I love it. I love what I'm doing. It's a great career.
yeah. And yeah, and then if it lets you do what else you do, and
That's right.
um yeah, it's a great combination there. And
Hmm.
so then like, are you, when you go out and you do gigs at night, what's kind of your regular plan? Are you usually there like right when the show starts or right when you go on and then you leave right after, or are you hanging out in the green room, or are you there for 3 hours before until 7 a.m. the next morning, or somewhere kind of in between there?
I usually get to the gig about an hour before because I have my little PA that I need to set up.
Hmm.
And then that usually means that I leave about an hour after. And I make
Okay.
sure while I'm there to network with people, you know, who are there, because you never know, one thing can lead to another, and um, you can find yourself in another venue just from going into the one venue, you know, that way. And I don't play out a whole lot anymore. I used to play out all the time. But like for
Okay.
instance, this Sunday I'm playing from 2 to 5 at the Backroom Brewery. That's in the afternoon. That's a super nice
That's
gig to get, you
Yeah,
know?
that's the kind of gig I would like. Yeah, be done at 5 o'clock.
Yes. And I
That
played,
sounds pretty great.
and the last
And
time I played was on the 6th, and that was for the DCbluessociety's Battle of the Bands and the single duo competition. And I played there. I won that. And
oh,
so now in January, yeah, so now in
cool.
January, I'll go to Memphis and compete in the International Blues Society's Battle of the Bands.
Whoa, okay, that's awesome.
Thank you. I'm excited
Congratulations.
about it. I couldn't let this go by without throwing that in there.
Yeah, throw that in there. Like, okay, so you got to go to Memphis. And I've wanted to go to Memphis for a long time. Um, but yeah, Memphis has been somewhere, and I told myself, like, if I had ever gotten back into wrestling and did one more run, that would be where I'd go. But so you're gonna be in Memphis. What are you gonna be doing? Is it like one day that you have the Battle of the Bands, or is
I,
it
I want to
multiple?
say it's the 8th through the 11th because you have to go through and see how far you get, right? So,
Right.
but the great thing is you get to meet and network with all these people from the industry, plus great players from around the world who've
Around the
qualified for
world.
the competition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
I
I'm
mean,
super excited about it.
yeah, you might get to have someone from Australia or something that wants to just jam with you just for, whatever reason, or, someone from kind of all over. And yeah, that'll be a great way to get out and yeah, see other people. And that'll be some real fun connections and probably real fun conversations as well with getting to kind of see how everyone came about.
Yeah, everybody
So
I've talked to that's been there has said that that's exactly what it's like. And you just end up having this really great fellowship time with other blues musicians, you know?
yeah, and then I mean, yeah, like that could be even a cool thing too. You find a small group of people and then who are all from that, and it can be the international Battle of the Bands tour, going around, or something
There
of
you
the,
go.
yeah, something of the of that. And I I don't know, it'd be a lot of fun get to see that. And so it's in November, you said, early November?
No, it's in January.
Oh, January. Okay. All
January.
right.
Mhm. So I still have time to hone my skills a little bit, which is what I've been
Yeah.
doing. Because, you want to go and try to win. You don't want to just go and flop out on the first shot.
Right. So how many performances could it end up being if you're the winner? If you're the winner, how many performances would that be that you'd have to do
I,
for that?
I think something like, I think like 4, but I'm not sure. I think it's
Okay.
4.
And are they, is it perform like one song or like a set
A set, a little
for
set,
each
like a
one?
20-minute
Okay.
set is what I did to win the competition in DC. It was
Wow.
a 20-minute set. It's on my YouTube if you want to see the entire set.
Okay, I'll link that actually then in the YouTube video version of that. And so
You'll know it because it says I won, and it's got 2 pictures of me kind of going, yeah,
oh, got a good thumbnail.
very self-congratulatory.
Hey,
you
nothing
know?
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the self-congratulatory thumbnail if you're winning a
That's
national
right.
contest. Uh where where was the wildest place you found someone from at that competition? Was there someone from some really remote place or someone that was pretty uh interesting or someone that you kind of connected with?
Well, this is my first time going, so I haven't
Oh,
been there yet.
at the
Um,
national one.
right, at the international one, I haven't been. I
Oh,
won the one in DC,
yeah,
which was
the so
the DC
uh,
Blues Society, and all those folks were from this general area.
oh, okay, so it's the area. It's not like it wasn't DC like it was national. It
No,
was
no,
like
no, no.
DC like it was in the DC
Right.
area.
I did the
Okay,
DC one. There's one in Baltimore. There's one, couple of them in Florida, Arkansas, all over the place. And then we're
cool.
all going to converge. All the winners are going to converge on Memphis
All right.
and
Yeah,
have a
that'll
high
be.
old time.
Are you all staying in the same hotel?
I don't know. I haven't been down there yet. I'm assuming not,
Okay.
but I've got
Yeah.
to set up my room here soon.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that'll be a blast. Anything else you want to see down there? Have you been to Memphis before?
I grew up near Memphis,
Oh,
about
okay.
70 miles west of Memphis
Oh,
in near
okay. Going
Jonesboro,
home.
Arkansas. Yep. And so I'm probably going to go and visit family while I'm there. And like that. I mean, I've been to Graceland. I've been, I've been to they used to have Liberty, what was it called? Oh, it was it something, I forget what it was called, but it was an amusement park there in Memphis. I've been to that,
Cool.
and
All
so
right.
yeah. So what I want to do is just see family and then do as much as I can music wise.
Yeah. Are you gonna pick up other gigs while you're down there and stay down a little longer, get some local
I I would love it if I
places?
could meet somebody who actually books blues acts like I do, like single acts, because there's not a lot of places around here to play, around locally here for kind of country blues type stuff. They like me at the Backroom Brewery. They like me sometimes, but I throw in a lot of stuff that isn't really country blues, which is not a problem for me. I mean, people like to hear what they like to hear. Um,
Right.
but lately, most of the gigs that are coming my way because of what I've put out on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because they're wanting somebody who does that. And that's made it nice. So you had asked earlier, what's the biggest thing that's happened with the TikTok videos? It's just that people are getting to know me for that. So it's not a thing where they're going to hire me and go, "Hey, can you play, chicken fried?" No, I don't do chicken fried. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that
And that's been the
they know.
transformation. It's been very slow, but I've enjoyed it.
And yeah, and now I think people and I think also with this too, like that people get to know you on a more personal level, as well as with your music and getting to know what you're about, what your strengths are, and just go right there and just aim for it and hit that. And it's cool that, then people know exactly what they're wanting, what they get. And
that's exactly. And thank you for having me
I'm
on,
happy
because
for
that's
you.
exactly right. Every time I do something like this, something happens as a result,
Yeah. And
so
I think you should. I think you should, keep getting out there. You're doing it right. You're doing the right stuff, and you're enjoying it too, I guess, is what really matters.
oh my,
Like
yes, I'm
you
having a
get
good
to,
time.
you get to just do what you're doing, and you don't have to, you get to be you. And
That's
that's
right.
one of the most important things in life, is to get to be you. So
That's exactly right.
you said you would play. Do you want to do a song, or it doesn't have to be a song. It can be you playing. It doesn't have to go into a song format, but if you want to play for however long, I don't know, whatever you want to do, and I'm just gonna sit back and relax, and probably turn my camera off so it'll just record you, because that's a lot more
Yeah, I
exciting
would
than
love
me.
to. I would love
Okay,
to.
and take all the time you want, and then when you're done, and we'll talk for a minute, and then you can head on out.
All right, cool, man. Thank
All
you.
right, you bet. Thank you.
All right.
So is it Joe? Is it Bourgeois?
Bourgeois, that's right.
Joe Bourgeois, right here.
That's right. Thank you, Rusty.
Awesome. Yeah, enjoy. Cool. Well, Joe, thank you so much for being on. I'm happy we got to have a conversation, and like keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing everything right, and just it's gonna it's going the right direction. So just keep at it. Don't stop, unless you hate doing it for some reason, then you can stop. But otherwise, keep at it. You're doing great, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm sure other people are too. So have a great rest of your day. All right.
Thanks, Rusty. We're just gonna keep keeping the blues alive, brother.
Love it, Joe. All right. Take care,
All
bud.
right. Yes, sir. It was nice doing this with you.
Likewise. All right. That's Joe Bourgeois. I'm going to put his video on because I messed that up. I'll probably edit some stuff down too. So thank you, everyone, for being here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. Check out Joe. Joe, like, he's a cool guy. He, like, that's something. You got a bus driver, like a city bus driver and a kid's bus driver, that you could just, I feel like I could talk to this guy. This guy seems like he's a good guy. And I could see that. Like, I could see people not really, being mad at him. So go Joe. So thanks, Joe. Thank you, everyone, for listening here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. Check me out, rustydiamond.net, hypnosisisgreat.com, popuphealing.net, all that stuff. And that is the show, man. Boom!
I'm gonna ride that big When the darkness closes closes in, you know there's nothing I can do. When the darkness closes in, there's nothing I can do. It's a pulling me down, way down closer to the woods. sun now gonna shine on my back door someday. I'm gonna lay my head on some lonely railroad line. Mr. 219, now you gotta find me. I think I missed my ride. I'm gonna buy me a rocking chair. Gonna take and sit right down. When the blues overtake me, I say, I'm gonna rock on with you now. Next part's my mom's favorite. If I listen to my mother, wouldn't be in the shame where I'm in. She told me once, and I said she was wrong. I got the blues now.
You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life? I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better. Hypnosisisgreat.com.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.